something that I've picked up from biology that is partly what drives this is like the technology-centric view of history. Like whatever becomes technologically possible changes the political order and the social order and the fashions of the day sort of on top of it. You've got an amazing quote that I think sums this up. That's like the top of your LinkedIn. The alliance between entrepreneurs and scientists is the key to unlocking humanity's transition to an advanced civilization.
Because scientists imagine stuff and entrepreneurs do that stuff. Both of them are a little bit flawed in the department of seeing obstacles. None of them really understand how difficult it is to imagine stuff or how difficult it is to build that stuff. Both you and me would be in the same camp of entrepreneurs who are trying to do something meaningful, and both you and I are delusional about how difficult it is. Don't you get this feeling sometimes when you're like had a very long week and you're like, oh god, I thought it's going to be so much easier. Sometimes it is not. Sometimes it is difficult. Sometimes it's long hours. And people who think that venture capital is a simple thing to do, sure, you can be a very laid back VC who works 10 hours a week, but then your results will be the same. You will not be able to show any meaningful traction. But if you want to really be successful, you will have to put in work as much as in any other industry.
I think alliance is a good word. And science and entrepreneurs are good disciplines to sort of bring together. From the capital allocator's point of view, there's a lot of opportunities, but you're not capital constrained by the number of the high quality alliances that we can create between entrepreneurs and scientists. Do you see it that way, or do you see the constraint as living somewhere else?
I see the constraint as living in the communication realm between entrepreneurs, scientists, and capitalists, three groups of people together. And while entrepreneurs can be a good bridge between those two groups, scientists and then VCs, very often scientists are not necessarily ideal in selling what they have created or even explaining what they have created to a layperson, while VCs are not necessarily always deep thinking people, and many of us are just skimming on the surface of certain items and don't dig deeper on everything that we see, which makes sense. If you see hundreds of opportunities every month, you will only dig into that many. However, there is a whole philosophy of just move fast, and like if you believe in something, just give them money and all of that. So they're not incentivized to be a deep expert in certain technology or science. So you have a person who cannot explain what he's doing on one hand, and a person who cannot understand what is being done without better explanation, and they naturally don't understand each other. I think that this is where a lot of problems stem from. Same is true a little bit between scientists and entrepreneurs, but to a smaller degree. It does lay in a very human side of things, in communication between people. Effectively, it results in lack of funding for really good startups, and it effectively results in misattribution of funding to people who are good salesperson rather than people who are real scientists and real technologists.